Hi, I'm Pat Council, and I'm back on YouTube again. And thank you guys for hanging out with me again. And I want to talk about why I think it's important for you to tap into that authentic purpose and why your authentic purpose is still the key to a successful life. And when I say successful life, I'm talking across the board: health, wealth, relationships, all of the above. But before I get into that, I want to ask you guys to subscribe to my channel. We are going to be hanging out on YouTube for a while, and we're going to share spiritual and scientific principles that you can use to do life with power. And what that means is build your magnificent life while building a profitable business. Okay. And to have fun doing both. So, we're going to talk about that a lot. And I'll be back to share uh, different strategies and different ideas and different philosophies that will help you, the right philosophies that will help you get to where it is you truly desire to be. And also, I'll be announcing a lot of the events that we have coming up that you are more than welcome to participate in those events. So before I guess I go any further, I guess I'll tell you about one. So we have an event that's coming up that's called Build Your Own Income. So I'm going to be teaching how do you start with nothing and build your own income. But we're going to talk about both the personal side of life as well as the business. And we're going to show you how those are connected and how you can use them to energize yourself to the point where you're doing what it takes to create a master plan and get the results that you desire. You can find the link in the show notes below. Right, so let's get back to talking about your authentic purpose and why that is still the key for a successful life. So, as I said, when it comes to that successful life, we're not just talking about money. A lot of people think, okay, a successful life is having millions of dollars, and I can tell you, having lots of money is a good thing. It feels good. Okay. However, uh, having lots of money without good health or quality, loving relationship, well, it's just money at that point. All right, you can buy a lot of stuff, and that's kind of fun, but it gets old. Okay, so let's move on. But when you're in your authentic purpose and you really step into that, now you're successful across the board. And that's the definition of success: having the best health, having the wealth that you desire, and having those loving relationships. So we're not just talking about intimate relationships, we're talking about friends, we're talking about connections to your family, we're talking about all of the above, okay? Meeting new people and just really loving your life. Okay. So the thing about your authentic purpose and why it is still your key to a successful life, I'm going to play a clip in a minute, and you're going to hear me talking with a a friend of mine, and actually. He worked in my real estate company. I trained him. I taught him how to be successful in real estate. And now he has gone on and he has an insurance company. And so he is successful at that as well. And so you're going to hear a conversation that he and I are having about why it's important to really kind of do what you're called to do. Now, when you step into your authentic purpose, here's the thing: your energy is at an all time high. And so when your energy is at its highest, at that point, you're being obedient to who you were designed to be. So when you're being obedient to who you were designed to be, that puts you in servants mode. And servants are actually people who operate at an even higher energy level. And that is the level of love. And so that's how you start to get this best life. I know when people start to talk about love, they think it's corny. Well, that's because they don't have a clear understanding of what the energy of love is truly about. And we're going to talk about that in another podcast, not this one. So before I play the clip, I just want to say just a couple of more things. I want to encourage you to take a moment and really look at your life. It doesn't matter. Don't look at your life as it relates to what's going on in the world unless your gift is designed to help you solve some of the challenges that are going on in the world. Well, I want you to just look at you and ask yourself the magic question: why am I here? What is my purpose? And write it down. And then if you're not operating in that, take a look at your life and be honest and say, am I happy? Am I living the best life I can possibly live? I have met people and talked to people who are not um, operating in their purpose. As a matter of fact, um, one person I was talking to, and she is way too young to always be at the doctor with anxiety and some other health challenges. And I thought to myself, she doesn't like her job. And that was before she even told me that she didn't like her job. She said, I don't like the job. I don't like the people. And I said, well, if you could do anything in the world, what would you do? So then she shared with me what she would love to do. Her face lit up, her countenance changed. It's like she, threw her shoulders back, and she was just so excited about her purpose, just even talking about it. And I said to her, I suggest that you make a plan, because that's not a happy life. And here's the rest of that before we go to the clip, is that if you're living that kind of life and you're married and you have children, and I'm not saying this to be preachy, I just want you to think about these things. Then they get to see you living that unfulfilled life, that unhappy life. And so that spills over, that kind of energy spills over into the lives of the people that are closest to you. And one of the best gifts that you can give them is to have that courage to go for your to fulfill your purpose, to just start working on it, because now you're going to inspire them to tap into their purpose. And I have this theory. I don't have any proof. And then we're going to go to the clip. But my theory is that if we all embraced our purpose and we operated in our purpose, then, well, things would be a whole lot better. That this world would be a lot better. We'd have a lot less dissatisfied people complaining about an ailment or the economy or something that's wrong. Would not be the normal conversation, which that seems to be how it is today. I mean, sometimes I'll meet a stranger, and if I say, hi, how are you? Well, they start telling me all the doom and gloom, you know, because they're not satisfied with their life. I think you owe it to yourself to at least do some soul searching. Okay. And the beautiful part about you discovering that you have this amazing purpose is that there are people that are available to help you manifest that purpose and to turn it into wealth and to monetize it. That's one of the things that I'm committed to doing. I love helping people take their God given purpose and turn it into achievable goals. And then I show them how to monetize those goals. And then throughout that process, they start to learn a lot about themselves personally. And as a result, they end up being quite happy. I mean, that's very fulfilling. So think about it. Take a moment, think about your purpose. And we're going to go to this clip, and you're going to hear me having this conversation with my friend that used to work in my office. He and his family, they now live somewhere else. And as I said, he's a great insurance agent. And so I'm very proud of what he's doing today. And he's kind of staying true to his desires as far as being an entrepreneur, running his own business. And that's very exciting. So, with that being said, let's take a moment and listen to me and him talk a little bit about uh, the power of really stepping into your authentic purpose and what that means for the individual who's not stepping into that authentic purpose. So if you can't be obedient to yourself or obedient to your calling, then you're not in servants mode. You're not in serving mode. So if you're not in serving mode, then well, you live a pretty unsatisfied, unfulfilled life.
That's right. That's right. That's good. That's right. You surely are. Hmm.
So the object of the game is to have enough courage to say, okay, this is what I'm called to do, and be willing to do the work instead of looking at what somebody else is doing and go, wow, he or she is making it work, and I'm gonna do what they're doing. No, if that's not your calling, um, see the thing about that, and I'll wrap it up here. But the thing about that is when you're doing something that's outside of your calling, whether a person admit it or not, their body will tell them. There'll be signs. They'll either be sick all the time. See, when people are out of their element, we can convince ourselves in our conscious mind, when we're awake, life is good because we can drive that message home. But the subconscious in our mind and what's called our superconscious, which is the God part of the mind, will say no, and as a result it'll manifest itself in lots of perhaps debt, or a person being physically sick, or a person always attracting people where they have conflict and lots of negativity coming at them, and that's a sign that they're in the wrong element. Now we live in a time, and I'll wrap this up because it's 9. We live in a time where negativity is at an all-time high because it's in our television shows and it's everywhere. But at the same time, the people who step into their calling, their job as servants is to counteract that, to help put out that fire. Okay, so with that being said, okay, so that was the clip, and it was really a short clip, and um, but I wanted you guys to hear our conversation about kind of the power behind stepping into your authentic purpose and what happens when you are not in that purpose. A lot of times when we're not operating in our purpose, we look at someone else, we want to be like them, we want to be what they are, we want to do what they're doing. There's nothing wrong with that if that's your calling. Sometimes you feel a connection to someone because they're doing something that you love doing, and it's your purpose. So you feel like you can learn from that person, and that's great. But then there are other times people want to do what someone else is doing because they're looking at it and going, wow, they make a lot of money. I want to make the kind of money that they're making. So they're looking at it just from the income standpoint. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with making money. But I want you to understand that when you connect your God-given purpose, that authentic purpose, to, let's say, monetizing that talent, you're going to make enough money to the point where you're happy with your life, where you're excited with your life. Okay. So you're going to get everything that you need. All right. Because your mind is going to expand because now you're going to want to learn this. It's kind of like multi-level marketing. Now, multi-level marketing is a good thing. Okay. But there are lots of people that go into multi-level marketing. They're not successful at it. But you know why? Because the selling point a lot of times is you're going to make lots of money. You're going to make this amount. You can make millions. And then they jump into this business because they think they're going to make millions. And they're not even the least bit interested in the product or selling that product. Okay. But then when they find out that they have to sell it, and there's some things they have to learn, and they have to go to meetings and all of the things that they have to do, then they don't want to do it. But when it's your purpose, you can hardly wait to do it. You love doing it. Okay. So I hope that kind of conveyed the importance of really tapping into your purpose as opposed to just doing something for the sake of a dollar. Listen, that is all I have. But before I say goodbye, I just want to remind you guys that I have an event coming up that's called Build Your Own Income. So if you don't know what your purpose is, guess what? I'm going to help you figure that out, number one. And number two, we're going to have a lot of fun. It is 3 days of live teaching. And there are courses that come with it as well. You can do those on your own time, but you can find out more about it by just clicking on the link in the show notes. Build your own income. You can take control of your destiny. You can monetize your purpose. You just have to know the steps to take to make it happen. And that's one of the things that I'll be talking about in Build Your Own Income. And remember to subscribe and hang out with us, because I'm going to be back and we're going deeper. So, with that being said, you guys take care, have a magnificent day and magnificent life, and do life with power, because you're built by design to win.